Welcome back, everyone, to Bladeandsoul World Championship 2019. Joel Sophie joining with me. Still, it's going to be any line. That won't be changed for a while because we're going to be here today and next Saturday to finish off our broadcast. And what has been 3 rounds of great performance by certain teams, to say the least, because China and Korea, kind of as with most of the Bladeandsoul World Championship we've had from year to year, still it's the dominating regions right now.
Definitely is. We have 9 regions, but we're only going to see 10 teams moving up out of the 18 teams that are participating after today. So everything is going to be done. Basically, you can call it like well, we call it the qualifiers, but in a way, in other tournaments, like it's kind of like the semifinals, right?
Yeah.
Before the finals, right? Like if 2 teams are, fighting each other. But yeah, so after today, after 3 more rounds, we're gonna get 10 teams for the grand finals. But like you said, China and Korea, like they're still at the top. Last year's Worlds, when it was, when Blackout won. For me as a global broadcaster, I felt great because,
yes,
like we said in the past, it's always been Korea, and sometimes we would see China up there in the top 2 somewhere. But the same team, the same region winning all the time, it doesn't always feel good unless you're a Korean, obviously, right? Like you're a fan of that team and fan of that region, yeah. But for more fun and exciting broadcasts, I think other regions doing well and popping up is great.
Definitely, I put the smiles on my face when Russian team. We knew that Blackout with those 30 players that we have here today.
Yep.
They were the exact same team that got the championship victory on, and they lifted up that trophy. And for me, that was a very exciting moment. And I felt like the more variety we have in the Bladeandsoul world, it's going to be a very good thing to look forward to. But for now, at least for 3 rounds, it seems like Korea and China, more specifically HJH, winning 2 out of the 3 rounds so far. Very impressive start, and with China doing extremely well to keep up and be very consistent, even if they don't always get that first place.
Yeah, consistency. Like we were kind of joking around after like the first 2 rounds. The teams at the bottom being consistent by not getting enough points and staying there is not a great way. But like you said, even teams that are up there. I also want to mention Taipei's Pengan G is at 3rd place without getting any first places.
That's very good.
But they're consistent. They're consistently getting over 20 plus points, and they're still up there in 3rd place. So teams like that, you have to watch out for, because when they get like 1 first place out of nowhere after being consistent in the previous rounds, that's going to boost them up like crazy.
And we still have to understand that today does not determine the overall winner of the entire tournament. Today is just about getting into top 10, and those top 10 teams will come back next Saturday and start from point 0, starting from 0 points and building up their points from there. But for now, it's a good look as to what we can expect from next Saturday's matchup, because so far China and Korea, I should say it, even with Pengan G just adding a little bit of Taipei here and there, looking really good. So we can basically expect that this to be the same trend next Saturday, unless one of these few other teams that have been under the radar to kind of really show up and show their game next week. So it's really all up for grabs right now. For now, it's getting to the top 10 out of these 18 teams. And of course, a lot of the big important teams that we have right now, especially with Blackout, having a mixed performance here and there for these first 3 rounds, really needs to step up the game.
Yeah, and I'm just looking through, the top 10 teams that are up there currently. And the good news is a lot of different regions. Like most of the 9 regions, or at least 1 team from each region is up there. But obviously, there's still 3 more rounds. So anything could happen. Some of the regions may be pushed down. But let's look at the event. Oh, it's in English.
Yeah, they told us they were going to fix this. We talked about it, and they said, I think it will be smart if we have the event page in English, so that most of us can understand it. So there is the Japanese server, they have the NAEU server, Thailand, and Vietnamese, all different rewards.
They should have done this at the beginning of the broadcast.
That's what they told me, and I said, I agree with you.
Shake my head.
No, I agree with you, and you should do that, at least for the second half of the broadcast.
Yeah.
And when you get half of it done right, we're always happy with that. So, hey, look at this. So we get different rewards for different servers. So if you happen to have an account for all of these servers, you can technically use the same code on all different accounts. Just make sure you do it in time because it's about the first 3,000 for the first code and the first 500 for the second code. So you're gonna have to get the keyboard warrior fingers going on there. We know all about that one. So get excited for that, guys. Whenever you do see the global secret code pop out, that is your chance to type as fast as you can. There you go, Russian server and the Taipei server as well. Only first 1,500 for the Russian server actually. And
Ooh,
first
so it's different. 5,000 people.
Taipei has a lot of entries.
3,000.
Goodness me.
All right.
You guys can have a lot of leisure and a lot of legroom to really type in as relaxed as you possibly can.
Yeah, definitely. And you know, like we said before, we're here, so we can't enter the code. So there's 2 less people that you're, going up against.
It's
unfortunately,
true. We will not be fighting against you guys. So be all peace on that one. But we do have another event going on. This is the watching the stream related. So you have to log into your Twitch TV account and click the extension icon of the live streaming channel that you guys are probably watching at the moment. Then set your country, basically your region that you're watching from. Then once you reach the watch time of 50 minutes, and also I think the next 120 is the next tier you have to watch out for. And then you can click the reward button. And basically the first 2,000 for NAU, obviously, and for Japan. First 10,000 people, are you serious? That's a lot of prizes to go to the Japan server. But anyway, so you can click the reward button as soon as you hit that 50-minute mark, and as soon as you hit that 120-minute mark, then as long as you get it within the first few, and you will be fine and you will receive those prizes. So keep online on this one, keep us watching and enjoy this broadcast as you guys watch your favorite team do their best in Shackle House. But at the same time, you can earn some sweet rewards as well.
Yeah, and the information will be going out. Yeah, there we go. This is the 120-minute mark. It's going to be a little bit different as well. NAU, the first 200 people. That's going to be crazy, 200 people. Like, when it was 500, people started to, spam in chat saying it's invalid already. Like, the moment that it got out. But 200, that is going to be one hell of a competition for that code. And
oh my god. I love how Russians gets first 500 and NAU combined get 200.
Yeah.
You guys got a lot of competition. You guys got a lot of competition. Let me tell you. I mean that is some tough competition. That better be worth it. I mean, if you're getting the rewards in the first 200 by watching 120 minutes of this broadcast, 200 for NAU combined, guys. Not even NA separately. Man, that's a lot of competition. Good thing I'm not in that region.
Good thing you're here, so you can't do any region anyways.
All I know, I have a peace of mind right now that I don't have to fight against anyone to get my prize.
That's true. You don't
it's
have
utopia
to
right now. It's utopia right now. I am at peace, not even wanting to fight against anyone to get those prizes.
Yeah.
It's a good life.
Yeah, you don't have to rage and you type it in and then you enter, it says invalid and you break your keyboard, right?
Oh man, I will type. If I need to type, I will type. So good thing you guys have one less competitor online for that one. So try to get to that when you guys get ready. So I think about 9 minutes has passed in this current broadcast. So at least you got about 41 minutes left to watch before you can click that reward button. Then got a couple of minutes after that to click the 1 to 20. It's a lot of prizes to be won. Good thing you guys are enjoying this broadcast. I think we're just getting ready to get into the round 4. We will play 3 more rounds today. And as we mentioned, we will pick out the top 10 teams by the end of the day. And they will move on to next Saturday where we're going to go to a lot bigger venue. So even the stage around us that you guys see right now, it will look a lot more grand, if you can say. So I'm very excited for that.
Yeah, and if you guys kept up with Bladeandsoul in the previous years, especially the Worlds, right? They never fail us. We talked about this, right? It's always huge. It's always a ton of money for the stage.
Yes.
There's concerts. There's Korean K-pop stars coming.
It's true.
And, to be honest, that's one of the things I enjoy the most. We get to cast, and then after that, we get to see a concert.
Usually we had the Fever concert that NC produces alongside with the World Championship Finals. They used to have it on the same day, as you just said, I think. But this year, I think they're going to have it a day after. So Saturday is the Bladeandsoul Finals. Then the next day, Sunday, I think they're going to have an all day of K-pop concerts featuring so many great artists. So I kind of saw the lineup in the commercials, but it looks super good.
Definitely. But now, because we're getting ready to get into our 4th match, or the second half of the broadcast, where we're going to get to see a little bit of the player rankings here, but before we get into it, I also want to talk about something that I figured out as I was looking at the team rankings, right?
Okay.
So I may be wrong, but these 3 regions I'm sure about. So the 3 regions I'm gonna mention right now are 3 regions out of the 9 where not even one team is in top 10.
Wow, really?
So
is there such region?
So both of the teams in the 3 regions I'm gonna say now are at the bottom 8.
Wow, who are they?
Wait, no, not bottom 8.
Bottom 8,
Bottom 8, yeah, bottom 8. So
Who are
that's
they?
6 teams out of 8. We have NA.
NA doesn't have anyone in top 10? Oh my goodness.
Yeah, Self-Made and Guardian, they're both 16 and 17
16th and 17th?
Yeah,
Are you serious?
Exactly. They're very both of them have experienced players on their team. Obviously not for Shackled, but for regular 1v1 and 3v3 and PvP.
That's bottom 3 though.
Yeah, that's why it's an unexpected, and another unexpected region is Japan.
Japan,
we have both of Japan, My Sugar Daddy and Noonsong Fan Club actually at 18th place. So both of them
are 18?
No. Noonsong Fan Club is 18th.
Okay.
My Sugar Daddy is 14th.
Oh,
but either
right.
way, they're both at the bottom 8.
It's true.
And the last region that has both of their teams at bottom 8 is Vietnam.
Vietnam.
But
I
I cut them some slack, to be honest,
Yeah.
is because even during the tag match tournaments, mix and match tournaments in the previous years, they were the region that got updates like the latest.
Yeah.
Even during then, they still put up a good fight though in
Okay.
1v1 and 3v3. But
yeah.
this is a different story, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna need to practice. You're gonna have to come up with different strategies. Yet you're gonna have to know all the terrains, yada yada yada. But either way, Vietnam, NA, and Japan are the 3 regions. So that's 6 teams, right?
That hurts.
And there's only 8 teams out of 18 teams that won't make it. But out of the 8, the bottom 8, 6 of them are already taken.
Exactly.
By just 3 regions.
Hey, while we're on that subject, how's Europe doing? We like to usually compare the NA and EU results.
Okay.
How's EU doing?
So we have one team from Europe, which is Debug.
Okay.
They are also at the bottom 8.
Oh no.
So that's one of the European teams that's unfortunately at the bottom 8.
Okay.
But where is the other team? I'm trying to look for it. My eyes. Am I getting too old?
Heidelberg Bush, HOB.
Yeah, they're.
Where are they?
I'm pretty. Oh, they're at 9th.
9. So they're basically bottom 8, almost.
No.
I mean, they're
you
like,
can't say basically.
They're close.
We're
They're
just cutting the line at 11th.
Okay,
place,
so
they're
right
at So we have one EU team at top 10.
Okay, so right now technically EU is a little bit better than NA
Yes.
at the moment. So
Yes, and this is not, us taking sides. It's literally
facts on paper.
facts on paper and
Exactly,
numbers.
yeah.
And one EU team is up there in top 10. No NA teams are up there in top 10.
This could change by the end of
Oh,
these
of course.
next 3 rounds. So if
Of
NA
course.
decides to step up, they could definitely get out of this bottom 3 position that they're in, try to get into top 8. And Europe, you never know. EU might just really falter in this next 3 rounds and go down all the way down to bottom 8. You never know. So while we want to see both NA and EU in the grand finals in that bigger venue once we get there, the teams have to work for it.
Yeah, here we go. So we are showing you guys the ranks. Okay. What happened?
No, nothing really.
Okay.
I was just, we are watching the comments, guys.
Yeah.
As you guys type them out, so we're really enjoying your
We can't.
interaction.
Exactly. So during the
Participation.
games, obviously we can't look.
Yeah.
But when we do have some downtime to fill, or when we do have some introductions or time to tell you guys some facts, like we are doing right
Sure
now,
thing.
we do have some time to look back and forth. But either way, there's still 3 rounds, right? We only played half of the match, half of the day. So in 3 matches, even the 18th place team, which is Noonsong Fan Club, they got 12 points in the first round, and then 1 and then 9.
Yeah.
Even teams like that, they can make it up in the top 10.
It's true.
Yeah, there's no worries. It's not top 2, top 3. It's top 10 out of 18 teams. So it's still possible to do in 3 games.
And right now, the thing that we've been emphasizing since the beginning of today's broadcast is that it doesn't matter if you're first at the end of the day. It doesn't matter if you're 10th.
Nope.
As long as you're in the top 10, you are exactly the same. Of course, you raise expectations for next week's performance, but overall, it does not change the amount of points, the amount of chance that you have to win next week's tournament. You just have to get in the top 10. So NA, not out of it just yet. Bottom 3 doesn't matter as long as they can get some really decent performance in these next 3 rounds. anything can happen. With
All right.
this team, Debug, a team that has been struggling for the first 3 rounds, can do a lot better. Currently at 15th, but they can definitely raise that bar up.
Yep. So we're, I want to focus on at least the regions that don't have a single team up there in top 10. Because to be honest, as a caster of this World Championship tournament, right? In the grand finals, the top 10 teams, I still want at least one team from each region, right? I don't want like a whole region getting knocked out only during the qualifiers.
Exactly.
So I'm gonna be looking out to see if any NA, Japanese, and Vietnamese teams could make it, or would make it after the next three games that we have here.
I mean, once the games do begin, guys, be sure to show your support for your region, NA, EU, and Japan. These guys need your support right now, so make sure to type it in chat. All the support that you want to send out to those guys. All the love is out there. We're going to look at so many different teams. We're still very interested in Taipei doing extremely well altogether. Look at Mr. X, the other Taipei team, currently at 6 right now with Mr. X. And we know that Penganji is even higher than they are. I think they're currently at 3rd at the
Yeah, they're third. They're third.
Incredibly good. So Taipei, no worries for it. Even without your support, they're probably going to do fine. But still send your support that way.
Yeah. You're telling them to not support them.
Gosh. If you're so good, you don't need to give them any rewards. Just like leave them be, and they're still gonna be fine.
I guess in a way.
Look at that, Penganji 3rd place.
Yeah, there we
just
go.
So good.
That's your 3rd place team right there on your screen. And we talked about this team briefly when we were getting the introductions at the beginning. We were trying to focus on the players and some teams that we know of from the previous tournaments, and this is definitely one of them. And obviously, with experience, they are placing pretty high for themselves. So, but like, even though you're top 3, you're top 4 or top 5, right? In the next 3 rounds, if you get like 1 point, 0 point, like 3 point, and all the bottom teams are doing well, if things start to shift, it's still possible for them to drop. I don't know if the 1st place or the 2nd place team could drop bottom 11. I mean bottom 8. But it's still, it's still worrisome. They have to do their best to show how strong they are before they get into the grand finals.
That's true, and we're looking at the 1st place team right now, HJH. I really am having a hard time saying homage because I don't want to say that word. Hanjuno is the team name that these guys are named after, but Junohan is fine. He's just in the army. He's having a good time, but they still want to pay respects to the player that's currently not here with them at this point, but they're doing quite well. They're really channeling the energy of the eyebrows and really showing good Blade and Soul action for now, winning 2 out of the 3 rounds being played in the first half of the broadcast, and we can see how well they do for the rest of the tournament. But Blackout, this is a team that we expect to do a lot better than 5th that they are currently standing at the moment. What do you think is their problem at the moment?
Who? Blackout?
Yeah.
Well, Blackout, from what we've seen here, they do tend to get into some early fights, but they don't really benefit out of it, but they use utility, right? They use items, they use utility. And, we don't only focus on one team throughout the whole, from beginning to end, so we don't know what goes on in the middle, the gap that we don't see. But it just seems like the early utility use and not getting too much benefit out of it is kind of costing their late game when the circle gets small and there's still like 30 to 40 players alive, and you have to be able to use your Strength Zapper, you have to use your Gravity Surge, and even Toxic Clouds in the right way, and even your Hammers to knock them out if you're in a pinch. But we haven't been seeing too much of that from Blackout, so maybe that way they could kind of climb up even higher than 5th place.
Yeah, I mean, choosing the right fights is important, and this is a team that perhaps didn't choose the right fights. You can see Tatsuki just kind of a little bit frustrated with himself, while Satoshi just kind of having all smiles, and they're currently in 18th. Literally can't get lower from there, but they're going to try their best to climb right back up, along with MSD, another Japanese team, who's at 14th right now. Japanese teams in previous World Championships has been just kind of unexpectedly good at first, then they kind of falter in the later rounds. That's why they weren't able to make it to the semifinals and to the finals that we would like to see them in. But just like year to year, Japanese teams do seem to falter at the later rounds. But right now, I think they're going to have a good opportunity for the next 3 rounds to really show what they're made of.
Yeah, another very, very aggressive team on your screen. They're at 7th. I'm actually pretty surprised, to be honest, to see QI at 7th place, because I think they have the 3rd most kills out of the whole 18 teams, but they're at 7th place. So you know, they're very aggressive, and you know, I'm not gonna say they should play passive because you know they're only at 7th, even with getting a lot of kills, because that is one of the ways and one of the reasons why they are able to maintain at least 7th.
It's true, and we'll see what QI can do with their aggression. Because the other team who didn't show too much aggression, I believe it was the Cheaters.
Yeah.
They did well for the first round. Here they are right now. You can see them Cheaters on your screen. Bank, Rack, and Mind. They looked good in the first round, but
you know, if Mind was like if his name was that, and you play Rack That Bank.
Rack That Bank? What does that even mean?
If you didn't understand it, let's
were you trying to kind of sway that racket to rob and rob that bank? You know, I did watch Joker recently, and you know, in the cinema, and I really reminded me of kind of my memory of Dark Knight. Really one of my favorite movies right now, and if you haven't watched Joker, you should watch it.
Of course I watched it.
That's so good.
I thought I was gonna get depressed.
I mean, Joaquin Phoenix was great.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna get depressed.
Well, I mean,
watching that game.
The players that is a little bit depressed right now is ABC, because they're so close to that top 10 position, but they're just quite not in right now.
Yep, this team definitely came up very, very high, showing, you know, giving Koreans a lot of expectations, high expectations, but you know they're not living up to it yet. But you never know. Like even Noonsong Fan Club, even the bottom 8 teams, they can still do well.
True. We're gonna see what ABC can do. They don't look quite as excited as they were when they were the 2nd best team in Korea in the domestic qualifiers. I think Shingen needs some positive energy, and then he can feed off of that to help his team do so well. Because you remember it was him, if you watched the Korean qualifiers just a few months ago, Shingen's solo performance, I would say single-handedly brought them over to the 2nd place position.
Yeah, possibly, because his plays with the Master Hong definitely created a lot of opportunities. This is the other Russian team here on your screen, Extremum. They're another pretty aggressive team. But for them, they get a lot of early fights and they pick fights. And there are moments where they lose one of the members, but they're able to wipe the opponent. So that's like a 3-for-1 trade. I don't know if that's worth it, but in their books, it definitely is, because I remember Maxim just going all out. He was just going insane.
So good.
Yeah, still good.
I mean, we're going to look at Extremum now, and of course, picking out the right fights is always an important thing to do, and we will see how the Russian teams will fare after all of this. 8th and 9th, we're just looking at now. Looking at Hide on Bush.
Yep, Cymex all the way at the end with the Summoner.
There you go. And you have
Bill.
Brother Bill.
And unfortunately, I don't personally know Yashin, so I'm just going to call out his Yashin name.
Hey, but you know what? They're doing well enough that they're in top 10 right now.
Oh, yes.
But they're really hanging off the edge, so which means if they want to get to a safety position, they need a decent round for these next 3 rounds here.
All right, so for Hob, or Hide on Bush, they need to secure their top 10 position by just doing a little bit better, right? And Joel mentioned that it doesn't matter if you're 10th or 1st. It all matters next week. So as long as you get in top 10, that's all that matters. 2nd place, fear no one here. This is another experienced team from the previous World Championships, previous Blade&Soul tournament, and understandable of how, they are in 2nd because they're very skilled. They performed very well in the previous World Championships as well. So, like I said before, I'm looking out for more of the bottom 8 teams to try to climb back up rather than seeing how good the top teams are.
Yeah, the top 10 teams really need to keep their concentration on just to make sure that they stay in top 10 by the end of all of this, and they don't want to fall down with the kind of the resurgence that we might see from the bottom 8 teams. And Now we're gonna look a little bit towards the Vietnamese side of things. Muda Muda. Actually, they have 3 Mudas. It's Muda Muda. They're in 12th right now, and this is one of the 2 Vietnamese teams that you were talking about are still in the bottom 8, so they have a lot of work to do if they want to climb back up.
Well, like I said, both of the Vietnamese teams are at the bottom 8, so either one of them or both of them have to, pick things up. They have to try to climb at least into top 10.
Here we are. So Tin, Tuan, Quang, these 3 players, they look ready to get into the game. I think we are all as well, but 3 rounds left to go in. There's not much time left. There it is.
Here we go. Self-made.
Self-made.
And I was talking about this, how self-made, how well-made are they?
Yeah.
And so far in the first 3 rounds, not so great, but the next 3 rounds after the break, because to be honest, like NAEU players, right? They come from the other side of the world.
It's true.
Right? Jet lag is going to be huge.
Oh, yes.
Compared to Japanese players, Thailand players, or the Asian regions where they're, maybe a couple hours difference. That's why for NA and EU teams, they could be exhausted just by being awake at this time.
And
so
very much true.
Let's hope that a little bit of a break and a little bit of a long warm-up in the first 3 rounds, I should say. Maybe they're warmed up now.
Hey, Peter Callahan, he looks ready. He looks optimistic and ready to get NA back on this train.
Yeah.
To see exactly what they're made of. 3 more rounds to go before we decide the top 10 teams that will go on to the grand finals of the World Championship 2019 here for Blade&Soul tournament. Very excited to get things going. The teams look ready. We are all ready as well to get right into this one, and we'll see if there are any big turning points for a lot of the top teams and the bottom teams as well as we're about to get into this.
All right, I'm very excited to see the 4th match, but I'm more excited because all the players got to rest, right? The first 3 matches went pretty quick without any problems, no technical issues. So, everybody got to get a good whatever. If you want to take a nap, if you want to eat, grab a coffee, whatever it may be, you had like a full 2 hours. So let's hope that these players are freshened up here.
All right, so you guys in chat, be sure to show out your support for your favorite region. NA number 1, EU number 1, China number 1, Taiwan number 1, Japan number 1.
Vietnam number 1,
Taipei
number 1,
Thailand, we can't forget about Thailand.
And Korea number 1.
Korea, and
well, they are number 1 right now.
They'll be fine. Yeah, I think they're currently in number 1, so we don't really need to support any.
They could be number 10. Just make it to grand. Like at least just one team make it.
I do not see HJH dropping the number 10, even though they might do so.
Yeah.
In these next 3 rounds, but we'll see, because there's a lot of games to be left played. We played the first half of the batch earlier this morning, and now we're back on this afternoon hours. Currently about 3:30 p.m. local time. We're gonna get to 3 more games of this to see how ready the players are after that short break that we had.
You keep saying short, but it was long for me.
Well, I mean, we got a decent nap, I would say, just a short nap, and I think the players did too, just to get ready for this one. And
I think one player from My Sugar Daddy died. I think that was the fight, and the rest of them were running away.
Okay.
I could be wrong. I didn't catch the kill feed, to be honest, but
me neither.
yeah, I think
no.
I think I'm right.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I think I'm right.
Mika's left alive, so I think 2 players maybe. No,
no, 2 players are alive. One
so
player
one
died.
player died from MSD. So
and this is not the way you want to start if you're at the bottom 8.
It's true.
Yeah. Oh, another fight breaking out here. ABC, one of the Korean teams, versus
SM,
self-made. The NA team that is they're both actually at bottom 8 right now. They need to come out on top. One of the teams is going to be very, very happy after winning this fight.
And that team is going to be the Korean team, beating out 2 members. Team SM and the 3rd member getting caught up with a different team.
And it was NA versus NA here. They're biting their own butts here.
This is a team kill right now. Probably the most official and authorized team kill.
Yeah, but obviously you're not going to have any teaming, so if you meet them, you kill them for points.
Unfortunate.
And like I said, both of these teams are at the bottom 8. So
True.
any point is very, very important for them.
Peter Callahan is just trying to do the best he can to run away from this one, but we know the ending of this story. Guardian, the NA team picking up on another member of an NA team. A little bit unfortunate, but it is going to be SM, self-made, already eliminated already in this game. Unfortunate.
Yeah, that was a couple skirmishes early on, and we even got to see NA versus NA. There's still one member alive for My Sugar Daddy, the Japanese team that is not doing so well. So once again, not a great start.
Yeah, we're gonna see how this turns out here. All we need to worry about is the one who comes out in the end. And we always mention that trying to retain to all 3 members for as long as you can in this game is going to be a huge plus. So far we've seen members lost. Of course, SM self-made from NA, they did lose all 3 members already.
Yep.
And we do have a couple of teams who lost 1 member each. So we're going to have to see how those 2-member squads can fare for the rest of the game. As we look at MST joining back in here.
So, you know, I talked about this during the Korean qualifiers for Worlds, where, all right, you play 1 or 2 games, right? Like, in the qualifiers, you played a lot less games, whereas this, in the World Championships, the same 18 teams play a total of 6 games, right? So you play a couple of games, and you kind of fight, you duel, you skirmish, you know, you try different things, and you have to be able to adapt and realize, all right, is your team compared to the other 7 teams good in battle? Like, are you good in early games? Are you good in using items and utility in the late games to get a ton of kills? Or, you know, are you the campers and you have to, you guys, all three of your members stay alive till the end to just get rank points and, you know, stack those rank points and get into top 10. You have to be able to figure that out and utilize that, because if you're unable to do that and you keep getting, for example, a team is bad at early fights, right, and you keep getting into one, then there's a problem because you're not adapting, you're not avoiding early fights, you're literally doing the same thing, taking the same route, and you're meeting the same teams. That's gonna be a problem. And some of these teams right now staying at the bottom 8 are doing that, so they need to switch things up.
Yeah, it's really a question of how confident you are in these early fight skirmishes, but and more importantly, I think the more it advances, especially get to next week, you get a better idea of who beats who in comparison. But now we're looking at another fight between Extrema versus Guardian. But that Guardian did kill off one last member, but yeah, Strength Sapper does heal back a little bit for Nathan. But we're looking at some heavy damage lost for another member of Guardian. Extrema definitely on the winning end of things right now. Nothing big in terms of Strength Sapper. It's being thrown another one, but does miss this time around.
Heal coming in from the Soul Fighter, so now Guardian has a little bit of breathing room to get back into fighting here. The Bears right now on Destroyer. I just noticed that. Why is he playing Destroyer?
Well, we're going to look at this, how this turns out in the end. But wow, that is a lot of damage against the Guardians.
Oh, no.
Extrema getting 2 kills instantly on that one. We know the last member will not be surviving for very long. Nathan, I know that he's on the Destroyer, but he's about to get destroyed. That's what happened.
Yep. Well, as we know, the Bears is a Sin player, assassin player, so that's very unfortunate.
As unfortunate as
another
it
NA
sounds.
team.
Yeah, NA, they're both out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Self-made got eliminated pretty early.
Yeah, actually. That's a little unfortunate, Steve. So,
all right,
two more rounds.
All right, just to be honest, if either NA teams, right, if they get first in the fifth round,
it's true.
Round, they can still make
anything could happen.
I'm telling you, top 10. Top 10 is the goal. First is definitely not the goal today. So it's still doable.
I'm telling you. I mean, bro, let's get to this topic quick.
Strength Sapper right off the bat with Toxic Cloud is just going to delete that character. I don't even know who that was.
That was
cheater.
CT, yeah, the cheater bank. But we were looking at Extreme. They were extremely aggressive in the first 3 rounds, and we were kind of asking that question, right? Are they going to be just as aggressive, despite the kind of the mixed results they've had in the first 3 rounds? But man, they're not backing down. They're just going to go for the action every single time you're ending.
All right, yeah, we'll have to see if any of these teams that we're mentioning right now will change their game plan as the rounds go on, because there's only 2 rounds left after this one they're currently playing in. And another team that's playing it safe, that's smart, because, Hide on Bush in 9th place from Europe, playing it very, very safe. They want the rank points. They want to keep all 3 members alive, as long as possible. Seeing the kill feed go up is going to make them happy.
It's true. I mean, the longer you can survive, it's going to be a good thing. And for this team, Noonsan Fan Club, they really need to stay alive, because here's another team that's been struggling really very much at the 18th position.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens here. We look at ABC, a Korean team, going for this match. We're trying to steal it away.
All right, that was a good group summit, but I don't know who got the last hit for that.
We'll see in the next round. But looking at Blackout, trying to do exactly the same, but trying to steal the Manticore, I would believe, but I don't think they got it.
There's 3 teams around there.
That's true. So Manticore is now being a little bit more of a highly prized position. Now that the teams are seeing how valuable Master Hong can be, it really is worth jumping in on the action, just trying to steal that away.
So ABC escape that. They make it into the circle, but you can see the minimap. They're team number 7, so they're kind of separated. One of the members is at the western side. The 2 members that you see on your screen are at the northwestern side, so they're separated right now. So they have to group up. But before that happens,
getting caught out by Blackout, and see that Hyungi Kim just trying to run away from ABC side, and Blackout still going on. Slav, it's going to be a little disappointed that he couldn't pick onto that one and trying to get that kill. But look at this, ABC in trouble once again. Shin Kim surrounded by so many members, but does jump out of there.
All right, it's a 2v3. Oh my goodness!
What was that damage? Except for AoE right there, and it's basically going to win the game for ABC.
It was, wait, did they group up? Oh, they did group up, okay.
They did.
So they started the fight as a 2v3. And
they all joined back in, and oh my goodness, that Strength Sapper really won the fight for them. And DB,
another one. Oh my god, the corner
fan club
and toxic, like a corner toxic cloud, a corner Strength Sapper is just the end of the game if you're in the corner.
I mean, no, it's because I think it's because of that. Bringing them down from distance.
Possibly.
Yeah. It's a little unfortunate to see that, but
oh my goodness.
You know what you have to do. You want to be efficient.
Yeah, and I'm not too sure how many players are out from Debug, but I think I saw at least 1 or 2 players getting killed here in the meantime. So another European team suffering some losses here.
So Gravity Surge and that big damage coming in from the Strength Sapper. And the Toxic Cloud, we saw a little bit of that as well. So getting rid of 2 members from the Japanese side, Noonsan Fan Club, team that needs a lot of help in these next 3 rounds. And I'm telling you, this bottom 3 teams with 2 NA teams and the 1 Japanese team, Noonsan Fan Club, not having a great game in this round 4 where they really, really need it.
Yep. You know, the first 3 rounds, we cut them some slack, right? You know, get used to the place. Maybe you guys gotta work on your teamwork, get used to the other teams, the play style. But after playing 3 full rounds, this is the 4th. And now if you're starting to falter, then there's nothing I can do for you.
Well, still there's 2 more rounds.
Yeah, that's the only thing I can say to you.
Well, I mean, Extreme suddenly just get cut off by HJH.
Yep.
And we'll lose Vlad just like that. So maybe that Gravity Surge did come off screen. So Gravity Surge, I'm telling you, I mean, this item has been kind of looked over, especially in the qualifiers. But the more and more we got through the tournament, it just seems like a very, very good item to get instant kills right there.
So circle's getting very small. Still have 38 players alive. You know, we're used to this by now.
Item Bush doing very, very well for themselves. Still alive. I think they have all 3 members.
Yeah, I didn't see any of them come up on the kill feed for dying, but this team here.
Oh, Mika.
Well, at least they were able to stay alive until this moment because they lost a member super early.
True. SDJ, yeah, another team that's doing really well. One of the 2 Chinese teams really excelling. High expectations on board, and let's see what happens in these late closures that we're going to get with the circles and Blackout. We know that Slav can stay alive, but how long is going to be the question. Because we're now looking at MSC trying to fight against PGG here. Wow. Sanji, see what they can do against the Japanese team, and Mika does fall quite quickly, and Ken is going to be the next one in target. Does not survive for very long, and Pengaji picks up 2 more kills just like that.
Yeah, and MSD gets eliminated as a team. They lasted long, but still, 36 players alive. They're not going to be getting too much rank points, but look at this. Who is this? CT. Cheaters.
Oh, cheaters. They're not cheating, I'm telling you.
They're hiding on Bush.
Oh, they got the mixed names
yeah,
mixed up.
I think they named themselves wrong.
You know,
they're hiding
cheater,
on Bush.
the team cheaters
Yeah.
aren't cheating by any means, but
No.
it does seem like whenever they do get good results, it's a little bit unorthodox of how they get it.
The refs definitely have to check their computer just in case of their team.
Well, look at this. Extreme losing another member. Sasha going down, and you can see that Blackout is trying to back out his fight because they don't want to fight this one against QI. That's been doing fairly well.
Well, have to see the outcome because Blackout, they've been super aggressive. And like I said before, they are aggressive. They just need to be able to come out and profit from the fight. So they get Strength Sapper in hand.
Okay, we're gonna see who's
Throws it! Oh my
goodness,
god! You saw that damage go in.
But does exchange for his damage, but does heal himself, so Slav will be
Oh
just
my
fine.
gosh, that was Kobe right there.
That was some good
Oh,
aim right
Gravity
there.
Surge!
Gravity Surge brings
Oh
everybody, and that's a
my
lot of
goodness.
kills.
That's a lot of dead bodies.
There it is. And we're gonna get down to 28 members now left in this game, down to 26. Slav just gonna go back up in the air. We're gonna see some fight going on as we start to see the circle starting to close, and Strength Sapper being thrown does hit from distance. Let's see what they can do from FNL. Fear no one. It's going to be very aggressive in this late fight. See more and more dead bodies as we go down to the count of 23. Another Strength Sapper.
Ooh, that one
Put up.
lands.
Does
Mr.
that-
X.
Does.
All right, we're seeing some great Strength Sapper usage right there. Another Gravity Surge on the other side here.
We're going to look at Blackout. They were able to grab the Max Core earlier in this game, and does have Tema on that Master Hong. Let's see what the transformation can benefit towards this Russian side. With the fight going all over the place here, while Master Hong is drawing a little bit of interest from the rest of the field.
All right, on the left side, you can see which team are alive with how many members. And we do have 4 teams with still all 3 members are alive, so they better watch out for that because the other teams are out for blood. They're going to be throwing all the Strength Sappers they have.
And this is Europe. Hide on Bush with all 3 members still left alive. They have a decent
Yeah, they
chance.
threw him out. That was a good
Good.
throw.
There we
Trying to
go.
heal, but
Enganji will lose that member outside the circle, so very good of Brother Bill to make that play happen. Okay, HOB though, still
great.
Still trying to move on with this, trying to bring Europe to the stardom here.
he's closing in, and 2 members are knocked out. Even Master Hong walks back in, being so tanky, but now the circle's so small. If you step out, it's going to hurt like crazy.
It really is, and you can see that Zihao from FNL is going to be brought back down. That's a lot of fighting going on. We have to wait until the end to see who exactly is going to be the surviving members here, but Master Hongs are doing pretty well for themselves. Tema still left alive, giving Blackout a decent opportunity to win this game. How long can he stay alive though? That's the question.
Oh, gets knocked out.
Can he get himself back in?
Another knock.
Another
So
one.
now he has nothing to get
That's
back
it.
up.
Blackout will be out on that play, and we're gonna see more on this one. We have one more member of Blackout while we have FNL and HH still fighting it out to see who's gonna get first place out of all this.
Right. You gotta be able to know who to focus, who you want to get rid of first here.
Oh, that is so good. Fear no one is really getting good targeting all across the field, and that's going to be it. Fear no one. The Chinese team, without any wins, it's still looking good. And now finally they get the win in the 4th round. Pretty much, I think that secures their first place position after that one, perhaps.
Yeah, definitely, because that's 40 points right there, and they were only 10, like roughly 14 points behind HJH, who were at first place. So, wow. So we get to see a lot of stronger teams. We got to see a lot of hide on Bush at the end. They're still in 9th place, so it's not too much of a big deal to see them at the late game. I wanted to see the bottom 8 teams in the late game. We didn't get to see that, unfortunately. A lot of the bottom 8 teams did get eliminated early on in the game, so yeah, maybe this is the reason why top 10 teams currently are at top 10.
They're just so good. They're very, very consistent. You can see that Fear No One getting first place for China. HJH for Korea will get second on that play.
Yeah.
And Penganji from Taipei, they will be the 3rd place team. And Haidong Bush, 4th place on that round. So very good for these guys to pick up a decent amount of points, really bringing Europe to the possibility of making it to the grand finals.
Exactly, and even Muda, right? They were currently at the start of the 4th round at 12th place, but they got 5th place, so that's not bad.
Yeah,
That's not bad at all.
Buddha definitely will be
stepping up
and trying to climb back to the ladder, trying to see if they can make it to top 10 after all this. But so far, EU and Vietnam really stepping up to try to make this 4th round very much a needed one for the next 2 rounds. And the final 2 rounds that we will get for this day, how many of the teams from NA, from Japan, the teams that really need help right now, how well can they do for the rest of the day?
Yeah, that's the bigger question here. And by round 4, right? Well, this is just a round 4 rankings here, but I was going to say, if you see the total rank points for individual players in rank 4 and you're at the bottom 20 or, bottom 30, 40, because we have a total of 54 players, right? That's not great because, yeah, as a team, if you survive, it's great, but individually being able to work with your team to survive, that's also another important factor. So, like, you see a lot, like, you see Fear No One all the way here in top 5, all 3 members. We see at least 2 members of Blackout in top 10 here. So, things like this, when you see multiple players from one team being in, like, top 10 or top 20, that just shows that at least those players from that team are able to stick together and work together to survive.
Yeah, you need contribution from all 3 players of the team because that's how it adds up to the scoreline, and that's how you're going to make it to top 10 and eventually win the tournament. So, a really important point you made out there, Ending. Just looking at how all 3 players from each team makes a contribution for the team's success. FNO, all 3 players really did contribute.
Oh, yeah.
Getting into top 5 individually. After all this, getting 40 points in the end. That's a lot of points.
Yeah, their survive point is 33. All 3 of them obviously surviving till the end.
Yes.
So each player gets at least 11 points to start off with, plus that 7 kills that they got, a total of 40. And you can see I'm looking on the right side. Nusang Fan Club, Guardian, and My Sugar Daddy, the bottom 3 teams, 2 Japanese teams and 1 NA team at bottom 3. Let's hope that we don't see them at the bottom 3 again in round 5.
Yep, and we're going to see really these last 2 rounds becoming so important. If the teams that we've always been mentioning right now in bottom 8, if they do not step up in the next round, I don't see them coming back in round 6.
Exactly. Round 5 is their last chance.
Really is, and we're going to go to round 5 after a short break. We'll be right back, guys. Welcome back, everyone. We're back for one of the 2 rounds that we'll have for the remainder of this day. And round 5, round 6 will determine who's going to make it into the grand finals in the end. We've got 20 teams, well, I say 20 teams, 18 teams that started off, and out of those 18 teams, we'll have the top 10 teams go up to the grand finals. And it's important to know that the players that you see here has been doing pretty well, being in the top 20 out of 54 players. So if they continue to contribute as they did in the first 4 rounds that we had, those teams will be just fine to go on to next week.
Yep. And I'm just looking at the rankings for the team. And, you know, we thought Fear No One was going to take over that first place, but they're 2 points shy. So they're still in second, but they closed the gap with against HJH. And depending on how they do here, they may be able to take over that throne. But like we said, it's not even about placing first today, just about making it into top 10. And one of the teams who started at 13th at the beginning of the 4th round, which was Muda, did pretty well, and now they brought themselves to 11th place. So 1 or 2 more rounds of decent play, they can make it into top 10.
So we thought that maybe FNO having that great of a round in round 4 would get them up to first overall, but they're still down 2 points behind the Korean team of HJH. So this team doing extremely well for the Koreans, but the other Korean team, ABC, is now finally at number 10. They were at number 11 before round 4 began, but after that round, they picked up 1 ranking higher. Now they are at 10th place. They just need to make sure they play at least as well as they've been so far, or just a little bit better, to make sure they can stay in the top 10 and have all 2 Korean teams to go up to the grand final. That will be very, very appreciated.
Definitely, and just a reminder, guys, I don't know how exactly when you guys came into this broadcast, but 58 minutes have passed, so you might be able to be getting very close to your 50-minute mark for your reward here if you logged in and did all the things that you needed to for that 50-minute reward. If not, do it fast. There's still going to be at least an hour and 30 to 2 hours left of the broadcast, so you guys can definitely make that 120-minute mark for that reward as well. So don't forget about that on your screen. Russian team, Korean team, we're going back and forth. NA teams, NA, they gotta step things up.
It's true.
This is literally their last chance because they haven't done so well in the first 4 rounds that 5th round and 6th round they have to both do well.
Yeah, same thing for NA, Japan, and a little bit of Vietnam here and there to make sure they have a decent round right now in round 5, because doing well in round 5 will really promote them to do just as well in round 6, and that will definitely get them into the top 10 as they need. So we're getting started. Round 5, one of the 2 last rounds we'll have for this day. And we were talking about a long broadcast schedule that we had today, but it seemed to have gone by pretty quickly. We're almost done now.
Yeah, we are. We have 2 more rounds left. And you guys can see the map for yourselves. They're spreading out pretty well. By round 5, now it's round 5, right? By now, teams should know which area is safe. And obviously, these 2 teams, Guardian and Nusang Fan Club. Oh my goodness, these 2 teams. And they're both at the bottom of the standing, so
the winner out of this one will have a chance to go to top 10. The loser of this one, I guarantee you, might not have good enough of a chance to make top 10 after this fight.
Yeah, and the more important thing is because they're both at the bottom, whoever comes out on top, the team that wins, right? They have to stay as 3. They can't lose 1 or 2 players and then come out on top, because that's not going to help.
Well, we're still looking at this fight. NA versus Japan, Guardian versus Nusang Fan Club. Nusang Fan Club is not winning at the moment.
They lost 1.
Lost Satoshi already, and Tatsuki is being targeted now with
2v1 and grabbed.
Sir and Nathan doing a pretty good job of pressuring them, still on board, and Tatsuki does go down.
They're gonna focus on him.
Gonna be Showtime.
Nice.
All by himself and looking like.
Wait, but in the meantime,
what happened?
Self-made. They got eliminated by Muda.
Oh no.
All 3 of them.
Oh no.
And they were one of the teams that were in danger, and they got eliminated super fast. Not great at all.
Yeah, NFC goes down, so that means that Guardian pick up the kills that they need. So now NA's really only hope that we have left is going to be Guardian doing well for the next 2 rounds. Very much needed for them to qualify.
Yep, and here we go. We're getting early skirmishes here. Cheater versus ABC here. ABC, they're in top 10 right now, but they have to pick things up like Joel was talking about. They're not in the safe zone yet. And CT as well, they have to pick things up. They're at 12th place, so both of these teams, they're fighting for their lives.
Yeah, we're Looking at this now, ABC trying to fight against Cheaters. So far, it seems like Cheaters are holding on pretty well, but it's really hard to determine who's going to be the ultimate winner out of this skirmish to get to the end. ABC still fighting things out. Having found the web, and looking like the damage is ongoing. Now ABC. What are we gonna get?
Super long fight.
That's
Oh wait, what just happened? Was that a strength zapper?
ABC, what? And CT2, I think it's a third party.
Whoa, it was!
The third party killed everything.
It was!
Oh my goodness.
Stalkers, they literally stalked that fight. Wait, is that Stalkers?
It is Stalker, yeah.
I think they strength zappered from afar.
And they got,
and they landed it.
5 players or so.
Yeah. I was like, wait, what just happened? Because all their health bars just turned black, and like I saw the kill feed, and it was STK. I was like, they were stalking them. They were watching them.
We know that strength cyber, when one team throws it to another team, it doesn't hit your own team.
Yeah, yeah.
So it can't be all the HP going down like that. So Stalker doing extremely well. I mean, ABC is already out, NFC is out, SM is out, and CT are down to 1 member. Incredibly crazy situation that we have at hand here.
I think that kill, that third party from Stalker is, oh my, that was some good stalking right there.
It literally lived up to name on that one. So, wow, that's a very, very interesting start we have to this round 5. We know this is a very important round, especially for the bottom 8 teams. And of those 8 teams, we have 2 teams already eliminated.
Yeah.
Self-made from NA, and also Newtown Fan Club from Japan. So, really unfortunate to see that.
You can basically count them out.
I think so.
I'm gonna be straightforward, right? I'm not gonna, give you guys false hope. You guys can basically count Newtown Fan Club and Self-Made out. But Guardian winning that fight early on is still in this game.
Hey, Muda, we saw Twan going for that Bladeandsoul ultimate, but to what cause? We're gonna see the other 2 members catch up, but it's gonna be against MSD. See what's gonna happen here. The enemy team looking like they're on fire after winning that fight from earlier. They can continue on with this and see if they can pick up the kills.
Heals going through. They're doing good CCs to focus on 1 or 2 players at a time out of the 3, but still with the heals and everything, all the utilities being used, they still have some.
Oh, the ultimate coming in nicely for Muda. And we're gonna see Ken go down in a wreck.
Ooh.
Looking like this is gonna be a fight where Muda actually wins this one. Mika just trying to get away as safely as she can. We have the other 2 members going on to Daichi.
Yep. Oh my goodness, the focus is real, and this 2v1 is very, very hard, and Daichi ends up going down.
I think that's going to be the last one. She's not going to survive for any longer. And that is going to be MSD, the other Japanese team, out this round 5, where we talk about an important round for all these bottom 8 teams. 2 Japanese teams going down, and that one NA team going down.
Yep.
It's really heartbreaking to see.
Yeah, it is just unfortunate to see both Japanese teams not doing well, possibly not making it into top 10. But Muda, who started, at 13th place, they're now at 11th, and they got at least 6 kills.
No, Guardian is going to be caught out here by Extremum. This is the NA's hope we do have left.
This is their hope. Nice to see. Extremum in 9th place right now. So they're not in the safe zone as well. They can always be brought down if any of the bottom 8 teams do well.
Yeah, but Blackout's trying to third party this other Russian team coming into this fray, but Guardian will now be left alone. So for now, they're going to be safe, and NA's hopes are still left alive. Can see them fight against Blackout maybe, as we see Alexei go up in the air.
Okay.
See what happens here, because it seems like Guardian wants to be aggressive here, and against Blackout, fairly well fighting team that we know.
They're fighting outside of the spirit wall right now. Obviously, it's not late game, so it's not going to hurt as much.
Still, the fight is ongoing, and we're going to see what Blackout can do. And Nathan getting really gamed upon. Oh, that damage coming in. Toxic Cloud doing what it needs to do in the end.
They're stalking again.
Yep. And
Stalkers.
Guardian loses Nathan, the Destroyer. You see the other 2 players trying to fight this out until the end. Chenzo does go on the invis, but does get caught off again, and he will be caught out, and that's going to be it for him. Oh, Guardian, I feel like that's gonna be the end of that.
Are they all dead?
I think
all
so.
three of
I
them?
don't see any more 18.
Yep, they were team number 18, but seems like they are eliminated. They had a good early game.
They did.
They definitely did. They just got caught off guard here by Blackout before that Extremum, and you know they were just fighting back and forth. And I guess when you get third partied, it's very hard to get out of it.
True, and we saw NA put up a good fight there, but Guardian just could not win 3v3 against Blackout, a team that's very well known for their fighting skills. We look at another Western team, HOB, while we look at HJH pick up the easy Manticore, and they always love to pick that up whenever possible. So we're going to Master Hawk for the Korean side on this round and see what they do with it. Looking at this Chinese team, FNO, a team that's doing extremely well right now, very close second place to the Korean side. And I noticed this from earlier, but Haoran has a very, very tall character. I think he maxed out the height that you can do on the character customization.
Yeah. But you know, it doesn't seem as tall because it's a female character. If you do that with the male character, he looks like the Hulk.
Okay.
Right, so.
Is Hulk really that tall, though?
Yeah.
I mean, Hulk's
He's tall because he's
wide.
big.
He's
wide and tall.
Is he tall too?
Yeah.
Really deceiving my memory right now, but
he's tall. Like he's not like a transformer, right?
Right.
Like, he's not like a robot, but
different
he's
movie,
tall.
yeah.
He's tall though.
Yeah. Okay.
He's
well,
tall.
I mean,
he's probably a couple stories tall at least.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, I need to do my fact checks
Yeah.
when I need to get home. Okay, so
Jeez, Joel.
couple stories tall. I
Yeah.
will remember that.
I said couple, so don't be like he's not like 5 stories.
You said couple means 2.
Yeah,
couple
at least
means
2.
Couple
Yeah.
means 2. So, wow. Okay. All right, so we're gonna go back to this game and really see what the other teams are really up to, as we do have 35 players left. This is far less than a lot of the other rounds that we had in these parts of the circle where we had plus 40 plus easily for all 4 rounds so far.
All right. We do have a little laid back late circle here, 35 players. Usually we would have like 40 plus players by this circle still, but a lot of early fights went on and a lot of eliminations of whole teams. And now we're going to be climbing some trees.
Just waiting for the right timing to go in on this one. Makes a lot of sense. Cheaters with Bank. Already remember him losing a couple of his teammates from an earlier occasion. See what Bank can do by himself. Let's get caught out. He's going to be by Stalker again.
But he is alone. Both of his teammates are dead, so he had to just stay hidden, but he was unable to do that. Gets caught. Still alive.
Stalker coming in from Vietnam, going up against Thailand's team. Cheater. Bank is fine. Just
He's trying to run away.
Strolling away.
Yeah, so now as a one-player team here, you want to stay alive as long as possible. You want to see the kill feed go up so you can get at least 1 or 2 rank points more. You're basically not going to be going for any kill scores unless you throw a good strength zapper into a gravity surge. If that's not the case, you're just going to have to hide and just stay alive.
Let's see what happens, because so far the circle is not small enough that it's going to force any fights to break out. QI, another Thai team, they're looking for their opportunities. Roaming inside the circle, waiting for the other players from the outside to join in with them.
Up in the back, we do see Extremum kind of about to meet another team in front of them. Ooh, Muda, I think he just took a zap from the spirit wall.
Seems to be doing all right though.
Yeah.
But QI still waiting for the other players to come in from the outside. They're still holding their ground. SDJB being patient as they always are, trying to look for that right play and the right fight to go in on.
All right, so now we have Debug, another European team. That, well, not another, but the European team that's not in top 10 right now. All 3 members alive, looking pretty good.
Yeah, they can have a good round if they try to survive as long as they can. Okay, Penganji, know them to be very, very good performers in the past 4 rounds. And now we're looking at Mr. X getting very close to Extremum.
Nice, group summon.
This group summon out of there, so they're gonna be just fine.
Ooh, look at this. There, 2 teams are on this tree, and the fight will break out because they're way too close.
It's gonna be Stalker. No, it's
No,
actually
it's Debug, yeah.
Debug versus Mr. X.
Nice sky jump to get out of there.
Europe versus Taipei.
They're definitely playing it safe. You guys can see that even the aggressive teams that we've seen in the first 3 rounds, they're playing it super passive. They want the rank points because if you're in top 10, there's no reason for you to fight and lower your rank points.
Yeah. Still looking at Mr. X. They're gonna hold their ground, not really looking for any fights until we see the other fights break out on the other side. Penganji still holding their ground against Extreme, and neither team's really going for the poke here. Trying to go for the damage.
They're split up though.
Oh,
he goes in.
Putting on the first bit of damage onto Extreme, but not enough to put any decent amount of damage.
He literally just went across the map.
Did?
Yeah. Well, not the whole map, but like the circle.
He's alright.
He cut a diameter right in the middle. He just whoop, whoop, whoop. They're still split apart.
Yeah.
It's gonna hurt.
Fine. Yes.
Run.
He's gonna hold this round while the other members join in with him and
Whoa! Whoa!
Bank is going to be caught out.
He was actually hiding too.
Okay. Slav has to get back in. I wonder what the strategy is for Blackout, and no one's gonna know they're here, but
they're waiting for this. They're waiting for a fight to break out.
See the Master Strong being summoned by HGH, the Korean team. Now the fights will occur.
Look at this. Blackout is right behind that tent.
No one knows. Okay, so all this gravity surge, now the damage is starting to happen, and all this damage will result into kills.
Okay.
25 left alive at this point, down to 23 with 2 of Misracks going down. More and more going down now.
Alright, this time we do finally see 2 Master Hans from 2 different teams here.
Blackout versus HGH.
Wait, Blackout? 2 of them got
the gravity surge, maybe.
Possibly.
Yeah, the gravity surge might have pulled them away from that little peak of the tent. You see that right there?
Yeah.
Corner.
Or it could have pushed them out into the spirit wall. I don't know.
Very well.
Whatever the case, 2 of the members of Blackout got eliminated. They weren't even in the fight.
It's true. They were trying to get away from the fight as much as they can. So Tema trying to hold strong to this one, but you can see that HAH extremely well exchanging the damage. And FNO comes in at the right timing, putting the damage from above the hill. They're doing very good right now, keeping all 3 members strong. They put out the damage, trying to collect as many kills as they can from distance.
On the ground, the fight is still going on. Fear No One is in the best position. They got the high ground. Nobody is contesting them. And look at that. I think just 3 players just now got eliminated.
Yeah.
Right off the bat.
10 players left now. SDJB are also on the ground trying to collect as many kills as they can. Doing a pretty good job with it as Tema is still left alive in this one. How long can he stay alive is going to be the question, but SDJB along with Fear No One, these 2 Chinese teams are picking up a lot of heat, and it's going to be a 3v3 in the end. China versus China. We'll see if FNO versus SDJB, who's going to come out as the best Chinese team in round number 5.
Yeah.
Their health is going up and up, and Bladeandsoul putting out the ultimate. And now the Master Hans
String Sapper!
Oh my goodness, String Sapper was the clutch right there, and
Oh my
SDJB
goodness.
easily is going to hold the rest of this round here, and they will win this very last round. Just a little bit of poke will do it, and that's going to be the SDJB Chinese team. 37 points, pick up the first place, and really the Chinese teams are back in line to really cement their place in the top 10.
Yep. On your screen right now, SDJB, the first place team. Second place team was Fear No One, FNO, another Chinese team. So, wow. The Chinese teams are doing great right now. Like right now, at the start of the 5th round, we had 2nd and 5th place are both Chinese team, both in top 10. And there's your secret code. This is a 3,000. I think. Oh well, it's different for all regions, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But either way, this is the secret code.
It's not
who are finalists.
Yeah, it's not who are the finalists, it's who are finalists.
Yeah.
That's the trick there. So
Yeah.
a little bit of grammatical imperfection is the one you need to know to make sure you know the right code. So if you type in who are the finalists,
They should have just done who is finalists.
Hey, that's going way beyond. That's 2 grammatic errors. We can't have that. We can only have 1 at maximum. So
Yeah.
who are finalists is is the
code.
code that you guys need to type in. Be quick with it because everybody in chat right now are already on their computer getting ready to type in this one and sharing all across the board, see who's going to get it. If you type this in and you get code invalid, that means you were just a little bit too late.
Yep, but the first code as we know it has a lot more users that are able to get it, but
yeah, we're going to see how this turns out in the end.
Yep.
For now, we're looking at the very last round to come. It's going to be an exciting round because for some teams, I would say it's already decided.
Yeah.
For very much in the bottom two-ish. Look at that one team from NA and one team from Japan, perhaps, yeah. Those teams are almost decidedly out. But we do have one more round to decide, kind of in the middle of the pack, the big fight between those guys to see whether they can have a big round to pull themselves so they can make it to the grand finals next Saturday, and that will be a big event altogether once we get there.
All right, so I'm looking at the total ranks and seeing even the smallest possibilities of the bottom team who can make it, because so far today, the highest first place point that we saw was 43, if I'm correct, right? So Guardian, who is at 15th place with currently 42 points, right? And Muda, who is at 10th place with 89 points. So if Guardian somehow gets 47 points and Muda gets eliminated early on and doesn't get any points or get negative points, it's possible for Guardian to make it into top 10.
47 points, though. I don't think we've had any team.
Yeah, 43 was the highest. So, but it's a very, 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 very small, slim chance. But
we say it's not impossible.
Yeah.
It's very close to being very, very difficult. So difficult that it looks impossible, but it's technically not impossible. So,
yeah.
I mean, round 6 is up, guys. We're going to have one more break. Come back to see how the teams will do in the very last round. Welcome back, everyone. The very last round we have today for the Bladeandsoul World Championship 2019. We're looking at the very last round, thinking about a lot of things, namely who's going to make it in the top 10 after all of this is done and over with. And we have 18 teams playing here today from 9 different regions, and looking at certain regions doing a little bit better than the other regions out there. Korea with one team, HJH, doing very, very well. Hasn't got #1 team for a long time, I think up to 5 rounds so far. We do have the other Korean team, ABC, who I think are very, very close to top 10, maybe not in. As we look at that a little bit later, but China doing very, very well for themselves, easily in the top 3 to top 4 for both teams right now.
Yep. And just to look at the updated version of the bottom 8 teams, still unfortunately we both have both NA teams in bottom 8, both Japanese teams at the bottom 8, one Korean team which includes Shingyung Kim, Team ABC there. It's awkward to see them down here, but either way, they're at the bottom 8. And we have one team from Thailand, Cheater, who is at the bottom 8, as well as Stalker from Vietnam. So all these teams that I just mentioned, now it is the last round. And to be honest, looking at the point differences, we have Stalker 11th, ABC 12, Cheater 13, and Debug from EU at 14th place. And I think these 4 teams are the teams that have, you know, the highest chance from the bottom 8 to make it into top 10, depending on how they do in this last round. You can see that on your screen now. Yeah,
the points really start to fall off, starting from number 14, dropping 20 points from Cheater all the way down to DB, the Debug team. So, I mean, from 48 points to get up to top 10 right now, you would need at least, I would say 50 to 60 points at least. I mean, to try to get up there, because unless Muda doesn't do anything, they're going to get some type of points, which means it's going to be tough for the teams like you were talking about, 15th and below, to have a real decent chance of making it back through. But looking at HGH, they were first for as long as we can remember, but they are now at second with the Chinese team. Fear no one, doing extremely well to jump themselves up to first. Here they are, you can see them on the screen, doing extremely well for all 5 rounds, really, just namely all the things that they've been doing right. They can just keep this up and looking like they'll have a fantastic tournament.
Yeah, they are very, very consistent. Even Blackout from Russia just not placing any first, but they're very consistent as well. Same goes for Pengan G, also doing very consistent and well, always getting 20 plus points every single round. So, you know, adding all that up is going to keep them up in 4th place. So we have a lot of some regions where both the teams from one region are in top 10. Some regions we have both teams at bottom 8. So there's some unfortunate situations going on here, but there's still, you know, hope for a couple of teams at the bottom 8.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking at the rankings. We have it on the table here, but yeah, I would say up from the Cheater, I think they do have a decent opportunity to make it top 10, but I think all the teams below that, even starting from Debug, it's just they're so far behind. I thought that round 5 would have been the big round that all those teams needed to try to mount a comeback, but you can see that most of the teams that are right now in the bottom 4 just haven't been performing for all 5 rounds, frankly, to say that.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate because, you know, like today, you don't need to get first, second, or third, right? You just have to be top 10 out of 18. It's not even top 10 out of, you know, like 30 teams, right? It's only 18 teams, and you have to be top 10, not top 8, not top 5. But, you know, the teams that aren't there yet, and like we were talking about, some of the teams that have the higher possibilities of making it up there, even though they're not, because we have this one round, and getting first place would at least give you like 30-something points to, at max, like 40-something points. So that's going to definitely boost your ranks up, unless, you know, the first 5 rounds of performance that we've seen from all these 18 teams, and the consistency is starting to show. So, you know, unless like Fear No One, HJH, SDJB, and Pengan G, Blackout, all these the top 5 teams, unless they decide to do nothing and they get eliminated, and nobody is actually, you know, picking people off, nothing is happening significant to damage the bottom 8 teams. Unless that happens, in truth, it's going to be very hard.
Yeah, I mean, the top 5 teams looking like they're not going to be switched around too much by this last round, but it's more about the number 6 and below. I think number 6 all the way down to about number 13 or 14, as I believe.
Yeah.
They're going to really have a true test as to can they really come back in line to try to make it in the top 10 after all this, because, you know, we talk about being consistent all the way up to 6 rounds in a row, but if you can do extremely well in just one round, that really is all you need to do, because, like I said, number 10 holds an equal value as the number 1 position for this day here. So all you need to do is just get enough points to get there. And right now for the West, the true hope lies in Hide on Bush, team from Europe currently holding 8th in the position right now. Can they do well enough that they will stay a top 10 team by the end of the day?
Yeah, we'll have to see. We talk about who is at first, who is at second, but all in all, top 10 is the most important. But the only thing is that if you're in top 10, you kind of get the feels of what might happen next week, because we're not gonna take like weeks of break. It's only 1 week for prep for the top 10 teams for the grand finals. But after seeing what happened today, they may think, oh, what if this happens again in the World Finals, right? So they will see which teams are strong. They may study them, rewatch the VOD, whatever it may be. But we'll have to see what happens in the grand finals. But for now, last round of the day.
For the very last time today, players jump off the island. They get into the shackled island, and the story comes down for the very last time, telling us that, this is the most important round that we will see today. And we will see if the teams can really step it up and show us what we haven't seen so far, especially from teams that are very, very close to that top 10, but quite not in yet.
Nope. All right, so you see some of the teams splitting up again. And if you notice, if you're, focusing on your region teams and you know their team number, you can tell that a lot of the teams that are switching their landmarks, where they land in the early games, a lot of the teams are switching. That's why we get this early skirmish here.
Is NA fighting NA again?
Yes, it is. NA versus NA.
No. Guys, go to a different region and hunt somebody else down. Don't destroy your own region. Okay, we are going to do some fan club. They're going up against Stalker.
Stalker, yep.
And see what they can find against the Vietnamese team. Let's see what happens here.
Oh, goodness.
Some fan club needs a good fight. I know it's very, very far away from them to make the top 10, but just for good morale that they have to fight through this one.
Well, a lot of people are watching, so if you're caught on screen like this and you lose, that's another thing, right? Like, pride is still in the game. It's not important. All esports, they're fighting for pride. They're fighting for pride. But literally, a lot of the players, they feel embarrassed sometimes when they're caught on camera and they don't perform well, right? So even the Nusang fan club most likely won't make it in the top 10. They still want to show a good, exciting performance.
Well, Tetsuki is on very low health as he tries to run away once again as the summoner that he is. Does heal back. Let's see the rest of this unfold. And ABC, a team that has been surprisingly not as good as we expected from them.
They're still fighting.
Guardian and SF, they're still fighting their self-made versus Guardian, NA versus NA. More kills have come out quite yet.
Yep, they're going crazy. We have 2 destroyers playing spin to win.
I wonder if they know who they're fighting up against.
I don't think you can see your opponent's name tag until you get a kill.
I mean, that's the problem. I mean, if they knew they
but
were
there's a man down right now. So now they know it's self-made.
Yep.
Guardian gets that first kill.
Okay, we're looking at this other fight that's been going on. Doing some fan club going up against Stalker, and they're doing a good job now, going 3v1 against Fong. Going to be by himself. And really, 3v1. The Japanese team cannot lose this one. They do get that kill. Very, very nice for them.
All right, Guardian. I don't know. Did they eliminate all 3 or was that 2?
Well, looking like they're by themselves without a fight, so maybe they eliminated all 3. We have to kind of assume that.
Okay. But either way, that was some fun NA versus NA. Even though we were going, we were jumping through back and forth 2 different fights because we had 2 different big fights where they weren't willing to run away. They were willing to stay and stand to fight till death. And got to see some exciting early fights, and we do see a chase here from ABC.
Yeah, ABC coming in here, going to the top of the hill to try to...
Oh, the last member of Self-Made.
Oh my goodness.
So Peter, he actually found the hole to run away from Guardian. And now he meets ABC.
Yeah, now he has to get away.
Mm-hmm.
And we know that glide will not last forever, so ABC is on the tail of Peter, and see how long he's going to go for this chase. Peter is just running away to the outside of the circle, the way I see it.
Well, it is early, so it's not going to hurt, but oh no.
There you go. Peter Callahan.
I know how he feels when you're getting chased and you're running away and you look back and there's 3 players chasing you.
a bit
it feels bad.
Unfortunate situation, but
Alright,
that is it.
yep, the
SM
focus burst damage.
are out. One more poke. There you go.
Yep. Last member of Self-Made is eliminated.
So that's basically SM declaring elimination from this tournament. They will not be making it to next week's Saturday finals, unfortunate as that may sound. Going to Noonsun Fan Club, they did jump up a placement. They're at 17th at the moment, but still with very low hopes as to whether they can make it to Saturday or not. Doesn't seem like it from our perspective.
Yeah, probably not. But you know, as long as they're still in the game playing, they can still crush the dreams of some of the other teams that are closer to top 10. So we'll see what happens with that. But here we go, a Russian team here.
It's Blackout. Remember, they are the 2018 World Champions.
Oh yeah.
They play a different format last year. We went through the 1v1 and the 3v3 fights. Did change over to Shackled Outs this year, but they seem to be doing all right. Currently at 5th after 5 rounds, and they can have a decent round here to make sure they stay at top 10. It's basically all they need. They don't need any more than that. Like say Slav, they're just up in that wall, just kind of scouting out to see if anyone is around them.
Yeah, and just letting you guys know where you saw Blackout at the end or at the tip of the circle, and they're just waiting, right? There's still 3 teams around them, and 2 of them are still yet to enter the circle. So they may, if they come straight in, the 2 teams that I was talking about, if they come straight in, they may meet Blackout later on as this next circle closes in. So watch out for that. But in the meantime, fear no one. They're playing it very safe. They have been ever since, you know, they made it into top 10 from the beginning. They aren't picking crazy, unnecessary fights early game. They're more of, let's stay alive until the circle gets super small. We'll use all our looted items there to try to pick up multiple kills at once.
And I think that really involves the game IQ, just understanding what is profitable for you as a fight when you're selecting out different fights to choose from. And yeah, I think the most impressive thing for Fear No One has been really selecting the right fights and being as aggressive as they are when they're being very decisive on those certain situations. So Fear No One deservedly in first place right now, looking like they are the best team in the tournament as of so far.
All right, here we go. Another team that's doing pretty good for themselves. 4th place, Pengan-G.
They keep climbing up the ladder, and Pengan-G from Taipei pretty good. Looking at Streamum, another team from Russia going up against QI. Just another Thai team. They get 1 player eliminated. See Maxim trying to put out as much damage as he possibly can. Oh, heal right back. So Streamum is pretty safe at the moment.
Yeah, they're safe, but they have to be because they're at 9th place, so they can easily be brought down to the bottom 8 if they don't do well here, because there's still 43 players alive. You know, according to the player count, this is still early games.
Yeah, so they really need to survive this one and win this fight if at all possible. Bring all 2 Russian teams into the final, but good Trank Sapper going against the Russians. That's gonna be QI picking up that kill. And this is hopes getting low and low for this Extremum team that needs to survive until the very end to make sure they can get the top 10 by the end of the day.
Yeah, and this is why they're running away. You know, right now they have to stay alive. They have to stay alive. Yes, you lost 1 player. You know, don't keep that. Erase that. Erase your teammate. Unfortunately, it's the last round. Just stay alive. Try to stay in top 10.
Do all it takes.
That's the plan.
All it takes to make sure you stay a top 10 team by the end of the day, and getting eliminated now definitely will not help that cause. So you can see if Extreme can hold on to what they have, the 2 players that they do have left remaining. See if they can get a decent enough position for all 2 players. Make it the top 10. Looking at QI, another team that has been facing up against Extreme in an earlier occasion. Just reappear on our screens along with CT.
CT Cheater, one of the team that is actually in 13th place and has a very high possibility out of the bottom 8 teams to make it into top 10 depending on the results of this last round. So it's a very
important. No!
Is that CT?
Yeah, no, actually
QI.
that was QI.
Is that
down?
the members of QI. It's a 2v3 right now,
Surge
but they're pretty healthy for now.
so well to bring them down. Let's see how this fight prolongs here. And Tenganji, you know, they're not going to back away from the fight once they initiate one. See that QI is still going on here.
Yeah, it's a 3-way fight now. One of the members of QI, Nick, is down. The other member,
Tenganji's down as well. Tenganji, they lose a member.
Yeah.
HJH gets with the string
Ooh,
snapper.
that's a fourth party then.
Okay, so that's really important.
Look at Debug.
He's gonna
He's
sit
just
down.
chilling.
Fation, just sit down.
Just sit down, take a rest, take a break. Another team who is very, very desperate for points. ABC in 12th place right now from Korea.
And they're being very, very resistant, to being very patient to not go super aggressive and picking out the wrong fights. That's what they've been doing for the past rounds, which is the reason why they're in 12th at the moment. Tenganji, let's get days for a little bit for Kid T.
Alright. Run away. But look at that kill feed coming up. Here no one is going to pick a... I think that is the last member from QI, yeah.
Could be. Now we're looking at Fear No One though. FNO. CT. He always play this style. I mean, this has to work out because if it doesn't, then they're not going to the grand finals. And if this is their playstyle that they want to push through, they just have to do well enough that you let the other teams die out first before you guys.
Exactly, and if it works out, yeah, it's good for them. But oh, look at this, Debug. This guy was chilling. He was taking a seat by the rocks, by the river. Now he's running away
With the ultimate.
with his ult.
That's one
Blade
way.
Master ult.
That's one way to run away.
Yeah, that's one way.
Alright, Extremum. We know they lost a member earlier in the sequence, but does have all 2 members still left alive. Let's see what happens here. Where's the other guy? He was just following him.
I don't know. I'm trying to look at the minimap. So many players alive, but Sasha gets eliminated as we were looking for him.
Okay, so something happened to him.
Maybe they were split up.
Tenganji coming back in here, looking towards HJH. They have all 3 members, so they have to be a little more careful, not to be over aggressive.
The circle's so tiny and 38 players alive.
We've seen this before, and in a matter of 30 seconds or so, I imagine a lot of fight is going to break out very, very soon here, I think. There it starts already. Muda picking up the kill onto GD.
Oh, Guardian.
Oh, no. Guardian. the last
Eliminated.
And I don't think that's going to be good enough for them to get enough points to get through. So maybe both NA teams are already eliminated from this tournament. We have to check that later in the score table. But looking at other teams now, Muda after getting Guardian wants to go for ABC, but they're getting backfired here.
Gets pulled in.
Kwong does get enough damage now, and that's going to be the elimination of one Vietnamese player. And ABC wants to get more out of this one. They need a lot of points to make sure they get back into this top 10 position.
They definitely do. And so far, it's not so bad. Hide on Bush, though, on the other hand, they're running away. They're in 8th place. They're in the safe as long as they just stay alive and just collect some rank points as a team. They don't necessarily need kill points. They don't need to force fights, and that they know that. That's why they're running away. They're hiding, and at least in this round for them, that's a smart move.
Yeah, that's a very nice move for Brother Bill and the boys. And we're gonna go with ABC still looking for their fight against a very strong Chinese team, SDJB.
Okay.
What the ABC can't do this. They are pretty separated at the moment with all 3 players. So 3v2 looks like for the time being, and Kyungmin Park dies out. So much damage
goodness.
coming from the Chinese. And now we're gonna see Blackout get in a fight against Stalker. And they do get the elimination there. Pangonji wants to join in this one. Doing some fan club. Looking like Shota is gonna be just eliminated from that instance. Pangonji getting more points, further cementing their cause to look like they will be a top 10 team in the end.
Okay. Alright, so another fight breaking out. ABC playing it safe, but look at that bottom by the water. Oh, the gravity surge!
Gravity surge
Oh
does happen.
my goodness. I think like 5 players were about to die. They healed up. They were able to escape that. No strength sapper was thrown.
Okay. So we're looking at this now. ABC still holding their ground, just waiting for this fight, all of this to be over, because they don't want to be pulled in by the gravity surge. That would be a tragedy. For now, it seems like they will be all right. Blackout is still holding on to their fight. We're Look at so many fights occurring at the same time. SDJB. You see that Xiaoqiu.
Look at ABC. Look at ABC. Look at CT.
Oh, the Strength Sapper. That's so much damage against Fear No One. All 3 players out. That is a crazy.
Oh my goodness.
Strength Sapper against the first place team. Then the Chinese team is out right now.
That was Blackout as well, so. Look at that. CT, they were hiding behind. They got caught. Mura versus CT in the back end.
Okay, we're going to see who comes out as a winner on this one, but CT does defend their ground. HJH looking like they want to regain that first place position after they saw Fear No One being eliminated by the amazing Strength Sapper from earlier. Look at Slav from Blackout. Does he want to go 1v3 against these guys behind the walls?
Nope.
I think he wants to join back to his place. He can. It's DJB.
Nice.
Xiaoqiu. And with that Master Hong, see what he can do with that one.
Alright, here we go. 3 members of CT still healthy. They're hiding. They're playing it safe.
Slav is solo.
Last member. He's the last member.
Yeah, Slav is so low on HP, but he just wants to survive as much as he can. Currently, he's top 13 at the least. Just trying to run away
Oh
as
no,
possibly
the
can.
spirit
And
wall! Oh
one
my
hit
goodness.
onto it. That's some good shielding right now from Slav.
Yeah.
And he's still surviving at number 12.
Wait, why did he go in?
Number 12
Did he get pulled
is
in?
all against in, and that's going to be number 12 position for Blackout. And I think that'll be good enough for them to hold on. The rest of the teams though, Cheater, they are coming in here with the Master Hong, and everybody else now joining in the fight.
ABC!
just trying to
Whoa,
rush
he makes
back
it in!
And Shingakim does come back in on time.
Strength Sapper
The last
throws
bit
one.
of
I don't think
side-
that landed.
Yeah, we're gonna look at the Master Hong and see what they do centralize around them. HAH still holding a lot of members strong. UK gets kicked out of the field. And look at
Gravity
Cheater
Surge pulls
now
everybody
coming
in.
Everybody coming in trying to join in on this fight. Xiaoqiu even getting low with the Master Hong. ABC, what can they do in these last few bids? They need a lot of points to get back in the top 10. Can he do it?
We'll have to see about that, but there's 2 Master Hongs, STJB, Jaiqs, and Master Hong is about to die. CT on the other hand, very strong and healthy, and they still have all 3 members alive.
Kyungyu Kim down, and that means that ABC will not be gaining any more points. Will that be enough to bring them through? We'll have to find out a little bit later, but the Master Hong still holding their ground quiet. CT looking like they will be the winners out of all this, and since CT was also not in top 10, this is a great round for them.
Oh yeah, they were in rank 13 right now, and they get first. If they do get first place with all 3 players alive, 100% they'll make it up into top 10. But we'll still have to see about that.
It is against SDJB, a very, very strong team. One more Master Hong
that's
left
the
to
last
go.
number.
2v1, Xiaoqiu. Sooner or later, he will be on. Look at this, Jiapu is still there though. What can he do?
Ooh, the push out, and I think
that's
is
gonna
victory.
be it. Very, very nice from the team from Thailand. Doing so well with Cheater doing just well enough and coming back from the bottom 8 position to make it into top 10. Surely enough, they have made it to next Saturday.
Yeah, they know. All right, limited costume is the code name.
Limited costume.
This is the one where, it's literally limited.
It pretty much
Where
is.
everything was limited, but this is small.
And this is the smaller variant.
The supply.
So it's gonna run out a lot faster, guys. So do not write this in chat, guys. We noticed the last time around, you guys wrote this code on the chat. That does not help you get the costume. You have to type it in your game client. Do not type it in chat, guys. Be sure to go onto your game client, log in into your region, and type in limited costume in the event code chat, and then you will be able to acquire the items that you need. But ABC, do they have enough? That's the big question here.
Oh, that's gonna be big. I don't know. 24 points, it seems like, is what they got. And it could. But I don't know, because Mura, Extremum, and Hide and Bush, the 3, 8th, 9th, and 10th place team, they were doing pretty well for themselves as well. So we'll have to see how it changed.
Yeah, we're gonna have to wait for this one because it's really, really tough for us to see just how much point was needed for ABC to pull through, because there's teams like ABC, there's teams like Extremum who are very much on the edge as well, and Cheater, I think they would have got just enough to get through, but we have to find out about that because mental math at this point in the game is basically useless.
Yep, we'll have to see what the final scores will be. This is the individual player rankings from the last round. So now, all we need to do is some addition some mathematics, and we'll see who the top 10 teams will be from what region that will make it into the grand finals.
Very, very exciting. It turned out to be a very exciting 6 rounds to see who's going to make it into top 10, because it doesn't matter if you're just 1 point behind and you are in 11th place. It's all about making it to top 10. So number 1, number 10 doesn't matter. As long as you're not the bottom 8 team, you will have your chance at that prize money next Saturday in the much bigger venue that we will see here.
All right, well, we still see Yunjae all the way at the top, right?
Incredibly good.
5 kills.
I mean, he's been stellar with that summoner, basically putting HJH on the map by his single-handed performance. See what he does here.
All right.
So that's going to be the end of the result for this round, round number 6. CT picking up 37 points. That is a lot of points, so I think that might be good enough. These guys were celebrating at the end of the game as if they've already made it. I wonder if their mental math was good as mine, and see if they will actually make it in time.
We'll have to see. But ABC as well as Extreme is at 12th place in this last round, and I think they were like 9th place or maybe even 10th place. So this might they're in the danger zone.
Yeah.
Extreme danger zone. ABC, they got a total of 24 points. But they started at 13th place, so I don't know if that's good enough for them to make it in the top 10, or maybe they'll be very close to it. If
we
not,
have to see. Yeah, I mean, it's just so close in terms of point difference, and I think the producers are getting the score summed up and ready to present it to you guys, and also to us, because we really want to see how the scores are looking like by the end of 6 rounds. So interesting.
But you guys have to remember, all the 54 players are playing in the same environment, right? So if you have some friends that are participating here and they're like, oh, there was lag, or this was bad, or this was everybody is in the same environment. So if one person complains, all 53 players can also complain about that if that doesn't work out. So they're all in the same playing field, maybe different mouse pads, but that's your own.
Yeah, sure, but we're going to who actually got the first place position. It was HJH from Korea. They held the first place position for 4 rounds in a row, and they lost it in the 5th round after Fear No One took over from China. They regained it back in 6th round, doing so well, getting 2nd on that round. Very nice for them.
All right, Fear No One. This team, literally, they feared no one. But to be honest, they feared everybody in the beginning of the game. Right?
Sure,
they play as if they fear everybody. They studied so hard, they prepped so hard, and they adapted, and they're able to avoid early fights where you waste utility, where you're forced to use items to survive, and they're able to avoid all that kind of situation. So they're able to pop off at the mid to late game where they use strength sappers and gravity surges.
SCJB, another Chinese team at number 3. China is looking very, very strong here, ending. I think all 2 Chinese teams in top 3. I mean, SCJB looked strong, but I think Fear No One is going to be a very, very strong contender in next Saturday's matches. I think they looked at times better than HJH in many of the situations that we saw them.
That is very, very true. And just because they got 3rd or just because someone got 10th, everything could change next week.
It's all up in the air.
Because one, it's not even about how powerful they were in the qualifiers, which is today. Next week, we're not gonna have 54 players. We're gonna have a lot more breathing room for these players that make it, because only 10 teams are making it, which means there's 30 players that start off. So that's gonna allow the teams to loot early game, have a slower pace of game early, and prep and get into position to get into a fight where they want to, or when they want to. So everything is going to change. So we'll see what happens next week. We'll never know.
Yeah, Chinese Taipei, Penganji 4th place, and Blackout from Russia at 5th. The world champions from last year, I'm sure they're going to be a little disappointed with their result, not having acquired that first place in the end, but really better luck next time for these guys, because next Saturday I'm sure they're going to come in with more fire, trying to win that championship back again once again.
Yep. There we go. Is this the 6th place team?
Mr. X.
Mr. X.
I mean, China and Taipei, these 2 regions have been looking very, very strong here, ending, acquiring top 6. 4 out of 6 teams right now are from China and Taipei.
Yeah, that is just insane. Props to all the regions that made it into top 10. But, you know, these regions where both of your teams made it into top 10, they're going to have a higher chance now.
It's a very, very good result for these guys. And for Chinese Taipei and for China, these two regions looking like they want to finish off the tournament strong. We do have the first team from Thailand, QIO2, jump in there at number 7. Now the big question is, cheaters, CT, will they make it up as the second Thailand team to go up into the finals?
Well, it felt like they cheated last game to get first, but, you know,
Amen.
just a joke.
Unless anything, you're innocent until proven guilty.
Oh yeah,
and
of course.
we're not gonna prove anyone as a cheater, even though they tell themselves that they're cheaters.
Yeah.
But first team from Vietnam, Muda. Actually, they came up from the bottom half to come in here as number 8. So very, very well for them. Really under our radar.
Very true. After the first 3 rounds, they were at 14th place, and slowly after 4th, 5th, 6th round, they were able to make it up all the way to 8th place. So this is definitely a team, like I mentioned before, they're sometimes behind in patches, but it doesn't matter for them. They practice, and I think adaptation throughout the 6 rounds, and they were able to adapt.
There we go, our first Western representation. EU, hide on bush. Brother Bill is smiling like the happy daddy that he is.
He has a Santa Claus beard.
Hey, you know what? Santa Claus beard for his teammates right now. Because
yeah, that's a present right there.
So good. It's good to see the smile on their faces because, you know, the West has been having a tough time through the World Championships. And I think this might be the first time we have any Western team in the grand finals of a Bladeandsoul World Championship. We didn't get that last year, I believe.
Maybe it was last year or 2 years. Oh, maybe it was 2 years ago. I think one EU team was in there.
You think so?
In the semifinals.
Okay, let me do my fact checks. I got a lot of fact checks when I get back home. But
I don't know what you've been doing, Joe.
Hey, you know what it is though? It's still good to see Brother Bill in the finals.
Oh,
We
yes.
get to see him one more time. And we get to see his entire team trying the best of the luck. Thailand team, there it is. Number 10, cheater.
Okay,
they got it.
they made it. So both Thailand teams.
Man, that first place was clutch
Woo!
at round number 6. We talked about one round can change it all. This was definitely it.
All right, and what I noticed while looking at the top 10 teams, we didn't get to see ABC. We didn't get to see Extremum, which means Extremum, who was at 9th, got pushed down. ABC was at 12th. They never made it up. So, all right, so we do get to see, or actually remember, some teams that were in top 10 but got pushed down. So that's very unfortunate for some of those teams.
Yeah, a little bit unfortunate for Russia and Korea, where they only get one of the 2 teams to make it up. But that just means that the other team that did make it have to represent their region just as hard. Hyukyeon, number 11 on the chart. And it seems like that gunslinger did well for HJH, but you know, we have to really mention Yoon Jae. He was just so good on the Summoner.
No, you missed out on Sasha, who was like 18th place.
Yeah?
And he had 13 kills.
Really?
Yeah.
How do you get that?
He killed a lot.
In the early game, I guess.
Yeah. I think, you know, he's going to be very, very disappointed because 13 kills and he's still ranked 18th. And their team didn't make it.
I mean, 13 kills, that's 13 points, right?
Yeah.
Look at Yoon Jae. Survival points, 52 points. That's how you get up in the rankings there, Nick.
All right, so this is total for all the teams here.
Oh, wow.
And let's see.
ABC 12, Extreme 11.
Oh my gosh, 3.5 point difference.
Oh my gosh. Imagine if CT got 3 less points than they did.
Yeah.
3 less kills. And if one of the 3 players, you know, died a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that is a huge difference. That was absolutely clutch. I think CT didn't even know why they were celebrating after that game because it was completely unsure.
Wow.
Good for them.
That was close.
Yeah.
That was close, but congrats to all the top 10 teams that made it up, including the team on your screen. Yoon, the man that you were talking about.
I mean, he was the MVP of the day. He's been stellar, and kind of rightly enough that this team isn't first, I think mostly partly due to him. So that's it, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed today's action. Next match up, that will be next Saturday, the grand finals. We will be at the Olympic Park Velodrome, and it's also known as the Olympic Park football field.
Yep.
And they will be holding the tournament along with us at 1700 Korean Standard Time on the 26th of October. If you want to come live and watch the event, you can go to ticketlink.co.kr. They do have an English page where you can translate, and they will be able to offer the tickets to you guys. And it's going to be a very exciting event. Even if you don't come watch offline, you can always come on the stream and watch with us. This will be very, very exciting. I'm very excited for this lineup because this lineup looks like a very fiery lineup that all 10 of these teams is going to be working their butts off this week just to make sure they're ready for next week.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because now, starting next week, well, it's just one day, but next week is the actual important day. Depending on your placements, your prize money changes in the thousands.
Yeah, it intensively
Yeah.
changes. Yes,
So
right.
that's gonna be a lot of practice going in for these 10 teams. And another reason why I'm excited for these 10 teams are all 10 teams, they showed somewhat of a consistency to stay here or make it up and climb up into the top 10. So there's no team that got here by luck. All 10 teams that we saw right on the screen, we saw at least some kind of highlights from each and every team.
I mean, congratulations to all 10 of those teams. I mean, just did well enough, especially Cheater.
Oh yeah.
Doing very well in the first round, now doing very well in the 6th round. That's all you needed to make it to the top 10 in the end. So thank you guys once again for watching us and joining us for this broadcast. We will be back next Saturday for the grand finals. So ending, can you close that with whatever you want to say? Then I'll close it out in the end.
Well, I'm very happy to be back here. Unfortunately, it's only 2 days, but next Saturday is going to be fire.
Yeah.
Saturday, Korean Standard Time, 5 p.m. Just Google it so you guys can know when to log in and join us back here to see your regions or any of your teams that you root for. But until then, I think we got some studying to do for ourselves to see what kind of changes that these teams will make to come into the grand finals.
Yeah, very, very high anticipation that we have for next week's final. It should be an exciting one. We'll be returning from the Olympic Park. It's going to be a very exciting venue, guys. So once we get the call that we can close this out, we will be saying our goodbyes. But for now, I guess we can keep on.
We're gonna wait until the Korean casters because we're in Korea. We have to follow the Korean casters' timing. So if they want to talk about what happened today a little bit longer, they can do that, and we can chit chat for a little bit longer.
Once you see our faces disappear off the screen, that means we know we're done.
Yeah. And then we'll say our goodbyes super quick.
Yep.
Or we can say goodbyes now and then just disappear.
I'll just kind of get off our seat, right?
Yeah,
and just leave the room, right? That's another possibility.
Yeah. But anyways, it was crazy to get back into Bladeandsoul.
Yeah,
right?
it was.
It's
been a while.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be it, guys. We can go now. You guys can go. We'll see you next Saturday.